Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Berger. Today I will be presenting my lesson plan for teaching counting sequence for first grade math. So first off, this lesson plan outlines a comprehensive approach to teaching first grade students the foundational concept of counting and number representation, aligning with the Common Core standards. So we will explore established goals, content, assessment methods, engaging procedures, and ensure a deep understanding of one-to-one correspondence. So today, some of the standards and objectives. So the standards, students will extend the counting sequence to read and write numerals, represent objects aligning with Common Core Standard CC 2.11.B1. Important thing to note is that within this standard, there are a few concepts that do take their own individual lessons. So today we will just be counting one-to-one correspondence, not writing or anything like that. So objective would be students will understand and orally count physical objects using one-to-one correspondence. So again, not reading or writing them, but just orally counting them. And then essential questions are students will be able to display a given number of items upon request and be able to verbally state that amount of objects. So the assessment here, the formative assessment, students will receive a bucket containing 10 shells. They will observe during the discussion and engage in verbal explanations. The summative assessment would be that students, when they receive this bucket, will be able to identify a specific amount from 1 to 10 when prompted and demonstrate that and demonstrate their understanding. Materials needed. Each student will receive a bucket and shells, and then additional materials would include the counters at the desks, the plastic counters, laptop for myself, and a clear touch board for interactive learning. So the introductory activity or the hook would be the cookie visuals. So just to engage students, we're going to display pictures of cookies on the clear touch board to capture their attention. So some of the questions I would ask would be, would you prefer 1 cookie or 3 cookies? 3 cookies or 5 cookies, and we're showing these visuals of 1 and then of 3, and this would be up on the board and interacting with the class. And the goal of this is to show the correspondence that 1 is less than 3 and 3 is less than 5 and so on. The concept introduction from that again would be that 3 is more than 1 and 5 is more than 3 and so on, just introducing that topic. The developmental activity would be, building on that counting skills. So Act 2, a visual, would be a video introduction demonstrating one-to-one correspondence and counting from 1 to 10. This just introducing this idea, going from the counting of the cookies that wasn't really counting, but just introducing that to the actual skill of counting. The Act 3 visual would be interactive counting. So we would have a 10 frame on the clear touch, and we're going to bring back the cookies, right? Instead of the counters, we'll have little circle cookies, and we'll count aloud with the class, 1, 2, 3. They're going to hear me do it, see me do it, and then help me do it. So that hear, see, do approach. Then we're going to do a guided practice where they'll utilize their own counting chips on the 10 frame at their desks with my supervision and assistance, and then hopefully we would move to independent practice where they're independently able to move the counters themselves and mastering that skill of the counting. And the differentiation and accommodations would be for advanced learners, they are able to extend their counting from 1 to 20, challenging their understanding. For those with special needs or IEPs, they might do an adjusted 1 to 5, or they might have additional guidance or supervision provided. And then there could be personalized support where all students will receive personalized support, ensuring that this lesson is accessible and effective for diverse learning needs. lesson closure and review. The verbal review, students will verbally explain how they can count using shells, demonstrating their understanding of the counting sequence. Demonstration, students will physically show me, the teacher, how they count to 10 using the shells in their buckets, reinforcing that one-to-one correspondence. And consolidation, this final review ensures that students have grasped the core concepts and can apply their counting skills. Finally, enrichment and reflection. Enrichment activities for students who quickly master the skill. They could count to 20 or practice writing the numbers. That might be the skill we would learn in the future. That does go along with this standard core. Teacher reflection. After the assessment, I would determine if the students understood the topic, if they were able to show the number that they were asked, if they were able to advance to the next step, which would be writing the numbers down or reading them. And then, could the students accurately do this? Do I feel like this was a good topic and a good way to assess if they knew this and if they were able to do it successfully? That's about it, but thank you so much for your time.